It's every day. Every day we have this to worry about. Don't you dare shut down PBS. The Corporation for Public Broadcasting receives $535 million a year. They use this money to push liberal propaganda. We are going to cut every last penny. Their new federal budget will be nothing. Already, Musk and Ramalama Ding Dong are planning on cutting funding to PBS, home to some of the most important public broadcasting America has seen in decades. In case you don't know, PBS is the public broadcasting service, and it is part of basic television or any basic cable. You use a coat hanger for an antenna, you get PBS. And PBS is something I watched since I was a kid, and tons of people watched since they were little kids. I remember when Geordie LaForge, LeVar Burton, did Reading Rainbow on PBS. I remember Bill Cosby, back in his heyday, Bill Cosby, with Mortimer Ichabod marker on the whiteboard, teaching us lessons about matching and all that other crap. And the marker kind of sang when he used it. And of course, who can forget Sesame Street? And that's what this is about. This is about that Sesame Street, Big Bird getting a COVID vaccine debacle that right-wing Christian conservatives had a big problem with and caused a controversy over it. I'm just going to tell you right now, Sesame Street in particular was a show created in 1968, I believe. And it was one of, if not the only programming that was geared towards poor children, inner city children, children of working class families, and disenfranchised groups. Sesame Street was made particularly not just for poor and working class children, but also for Black children, Hispanic children, Asian children. It has been a mainstay of PBS since the late 60s. And of course, I watched it when I was a kid. A lot of people watched it when they were kids. For many children, Sesame Street was like one of the only programs that had them in mind. One of the only programs Black and brown children, Asian children, could find people that they could identify with. Poor children could identify with the characters that were on Sesame Street. I mean, for fuck's sake, Sesame Street is where we get Elmo. Sesame Street is where we got Big Bird and Oscar the Grouch. It's had a long and illustrious history of teaching children, helping them learn about the reality of the world around them, there has to be something especially evil about you. If you have a problem with Sesame Street, and if you have a problem with PBS, fucking public broadcasting, PBS is one of those stations, one of those networks that has never been consumed by greed. They get funding because they are a broadcast station for everybody. There is no politics. There is no propaganda. There's no nothing when you turn on PBS. It is the one station, the one network that has never given into greed. Most of the programming on PBS is paid for by donations. They have something for everyone. PBS is where you can find some of the greatest documentaries and educational, in-depth videos and specials. Not to mention, of course, like I said, Sesame Street and all of those other down-to-earth, real-life, family-friendly programming that is meant to educate and enlighten and just inform. PBS is like the best station ever. And it's good that for decades they have been getting federal funding. And they have continued to bring in donations so that they can continue to bring you completely unbiased, educational, and realistic programming for all ages. It doesn't matter what program you're watching. PBS even has its own news special, which is very good journalism. PBS is one of the last bastions of proper journalism. And these motherfuckers want to defund it completely. Propaganda, liberal propaganda. What liberal propaganda? Big Bird getting a vaccine when there is a global pandemic? What is it? That thing about Bert and Ernie maybe being gay? And who cares? There's absolutely nothing inappropriate or even remotely related to propaganda at all on PBS. The only people that are going to complain are the people who would complain. Right-wing Christian conservatives, anti-vaxxers, anti-LGBTQ, racist, sexist, all the shit you don't want. It doesn't surprise me he would call PBS liberal propaganda. And that's what they want to do, is cut all funding. $535 million a year they want to cut from the public broadcasting service. I'm getting really sick of saying it, but this is what you voted for, and this is what you're going to get. I'm really sick of saying it if it weren't for the fact that so many innocent people are going to suffer from this. And what are they going to do with that money? Do you bother thinking about it? These people want to defund every last thing that helps people. Normal people like you and me. People like the children that these programs on PBS are designed for and have been airing for decades. Since before I was born, since before you were born. What are they going to do with this money once they take it away from PBS? Are they going to put it into Social Security? No, they want to cut that too. Are they going to put it into Planned Parenthood and women's health care? No, they want to cut all of that too. They want to take away women's rights, not protect them. Are they going to put it into that housing credit like Kamala Harris was going to do? Are they going to give you $25,000 towards a first home? No, they're not going to do that. Are they going to give it to you in the form of, like food stamp benefits to help you with all of these rising grocery costs that they say that they're against? No, they want to cut food stamps. They want to cut Medicare. They want to cut any federal health care program. Money's not going into that. They want to take your health care away, not help you pay for it. They want to shut down the Department of Education. They're not going to take all the funding from PBS and put it into the educational system. They're not going to give you student loan relief. Biden did all that. The Biden administration was all for that. And they didn't like it. And now they're going to reinstate student loans and the payments that are expected. So it ain't going into that. Not going into education, not going into women's care, not going into national health care, not going into housing, not going into food stamps, not going into Medicare. It ain't going into veterans benefits. They want to cut those too. So where is the money going to go? Where is it going to go? Where is $535 million a year going to go once they also give PBS the axe? Where is it going to go? Is it going to go into that big wall that Mexico was supposed to pay for and didn't? Is that really what you want? No housing, no food relief, no medicine, no veterans benefits, no Social Security, no Department of Education, no women's health care. So what? You can build a gigantic wall like it's out of Jerusalem in World War Z? No, they're probably not going to spend it on that either. They're not going to take that money and use it on anything to help you. There is no way it can help you if they're taking money from things that help you. They want to rip this shit away from anything that would help you so that they can give it to all their criminal friends, so they can line their pockets with it. That's what they're going to fucking do with this money. Oh, guys, it's not a real account. Reality has a liberal bias. Doesn't get much more inclusive. Real Doge News? Blah, blah, blah. Yes, I didn't try to turn left wing. I just got out into the world and eventually discovered the new things I learned made me left leaning. Conservatives have an anti reality bias. Mrs. Frizzle is about to charter a field trip up someone's asshole for this. Oh, yeah, Mr. Rogers. When he takes the funding for shows like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood or Caillou. It's like these people go, I don't fucking watch PBS. Why the hell would we need that? And it's more than half of the country, maybe. That's exactly what they want, vacant, unthinking vessels to fill with their hateful creed. The less educated, the better. Masterpiece theater, Poirot, all of the arts. They want us all to be gray people. No thought but to toil. Fuck them, I'm out. And you know what it is? It's because reality has a liberal bias. I put that in quotes because I'm going to assume Republicans don't know what democracy, socialism, or Marxism actually mean. So I'm not going to assume they really know what liberal means either. They really don't want kids learning, since learning leads to kids not being Republican, which they can't have. This is from people who never watched a single program on PBS. Fuck every one of these fascist bastards and double fuck their smooth brained voters. And fuck those 100 million or so eligible voters who couldn't be bothered to vote. He wants to cut NPR funding as well. NPR is already part of Project 2025, and so is PBS, NPR, Corporation for Public Broadcasting. I thought they hated cancel culture. I hope LeVar Burton kicks his ass. Mr. Rogers went to Congress to scold them because this was tried before. Mr. Burton should not be as kind and gentle about it. Teaching children to read is liberal propaganda entirely. Oh, so just so you know, whether it's a parody account or not, this is absolutely not a joke. Conservatives have been coming after PBS for decades. These people are fucking evil. And yes, in Project 2025, they did exactly say that. They want to pull all the funding for NPR because it is liberal propaganda, which, of course, NPR rarely fucks around. It's like straight information and news. And of course, they would go after PBS as well. Even if it's a joke, this tweet were meant as a joke. Read into the Project 2025. They hate NPR. They hate PBS. They want to shut everything down. That's probably why Morning Joe decided to kiss the ring once they went to visit Trump. Because this guy and his cronies, they don't give a shit. They don't care what the law is. They don't care about the Constitution. All they want is power. And people are saying, well, at least this is the last term. Trump can be president. What makes you think what the law is, what the rules are, have anything to do with it? What people are really fearful of is that he's going to do exactly what he said he'd do. Believe these people when they say what they say and do what they do. We know how these people are. We know how Christian conservatives are. We know how Republicans are. We know how the GOP is. We know what MAGA is. This fucking cult that's grown over recent years. It's a cash grab. It's a power grab. He said it himself. He wants to be a dictator. He's going to do this and that whether you like it or not. He's going to sick your own military on you. And everything they don't like is going to be called liberal propaganda. They will find a way to make liberal propaganda illegal, which means everything they don't like is going to be made illegal. The law will apply to you. It's not going to apply to them. They're going to create their own laws if it means more money, more power. And yes, they absolutely did mention coming after liberal propaganda stations. Morning Joe is probably worried their whole damn network is going to be shut down by these assholes. Probably would take all the libs and throw them in Guantanamo if they had the opportunity. If Guantanamo were big enough, which it isn't. But it doesn't matter. Just like all them illegals, they'll find a way to make whatever and whoever they want illegal and then sick your military on you. Wait, so you're telling me that Trump and Vance repeatedly lied to all of America during the campaign? I'm gobsmacked. Yeah, like, we didn't know about Project 2025. And all these asshole right-wing talking heads out there. Now that we won, we might as well tell you, yeah, we like Project 2025. Yeah, dumbass, we already knew that. We believed you the first time. We believed you when we read it. This is kind of what we were warning everybody about. Speak to your own followers, whose families won't be going over to their house for the holidays this year. Trust me, we already knew. To announce that there must be no criticism of the president or that we are to stand by the president right or wrong is not only unpatriotic and servile, but is morally treasonable to the American public. This dumb bitch, man. I want to fucking pop her in the face, I'm telling you. This is what we mean when we say at least 1/3 of the voter base out there is fucking stupid. How the hell did this living Neanderthal get in again? How? It's just stupidity. That's what it is. And that shit that she just said. If you don't support Matt Gaetz, then I'm going to release everything on everyone here. And not just when it has to do with Jeffrey Epstein's plane. That's the tip of the iceberg. This dumbass probably didn't even realize what she is admitting to is that she had prior knowledge of a number of her colleagues being on that Epstein list. Or not even so much having anything to do with Epstein, but also in other ways being guilty of severe improprieties and pedophilia and who knows what the hell skeevy shit that they've been into. She admitted with that stupid ass tweet that she had prior knowledge of this shit, potentially incredibly criminal shit. And she did not report it. She did not call any parents. She did not call for an investigation. And why would she? She's got her cushy position being paid on your tax dime. And after all, this is a blackmail attempt because she wants them to all protect and support her pedophile. Now, this is something I think should be, if it isn't already, criminal. She should be arrested for this, for being so fucking stupid she doesn't realize what she said. She doesn't realize she just admitted to having knowledge of felonies, major crimes. Most of them probably regarding children. And she's trying to blackmail these people publicly by tweeting, "You better support my pedophile or else I'm going to tell the world about all of you who are pedophiles." And then the dumbass actually admits after the fact, if I were to reveal everything you people did and it actually made a difference and you all got arrested or kicked out or nobody voted for you again, we'd have an all-blue majority. Bitch, so you just admitted again. It wasn't bad enough the first time. Now you're admitting that these are all Republicans that do this shit. You are admitting it. Twitter is a right-wing cesspool, and you would never believe it. There is where you can see the full extent of the delusion and the denial. You have people, most of them are blue check chuckle fucks. You have people, the print is there in black and white, the shit is staring them in the face, and they will deny it. They will deny everything. They'll deflect. They'll pretend it away. Just the other night, here's a guy that said, a bunch of them actually, it was about how many sexual deviants, pedophiles, and wife beaters, and all just horrible fucking people you have in your right-wing government. And of course, they're making all these lame excuses for them. They're trying to know you to Democrats and liberals. And I had to remind this one chuckle fuck, I had to say there are accounts on social media, including right now, still on X, that are nothing but reporting all of these right-wing conservative Christian church affiliated pedophiles and rapists and child porno pushers, all of them right wing, all of them somehow related to a church or a Bible study group or whatever the fuck it is they're into, to help them gain access to children or their chosen victims and try to pull the wool over people's eyes. And of course, Bex is one of them. Beks. Her profile pic, I think it's her, long blonde haired girl. And that's all she posts every day. She keeps track of all this shit. She is a literal encyclopedia on right wing criminality, especially when it comes to crimes against children. And this guy is he's like fumbling over his words because he doesn't know what to say. But there it is. There it is. And I'm subscribed, or I'm following Bex, so I get everything that she puts on, and it's sickening. Every day there is a new one. All of them are white, male, right-wing Christian conservatives, and Bex is just one account. There's probably others out there. And these people will still try to know you, the other side. This is the group that claims they are for children and family values. And I have to shut that shit down as soon as I hear it, because we're seeing it in real time. These are your representatives. These are your politicians, your House, your Senate members, your fucking president, your vice president now. Even when it comes to right-wing media, they're all scumbags. These people couldn't be further from their own religious beliefs, family values, anything that is good when it comes to this country or its people or values or morality or the world at large. They just aren't. I didn't even want to give out the first one. They're hoping he sends everybody a stimulus check now. Yeah, it ain't gonna happen. Currently, there are 23.4 million government employees. I say we get that down to the 2 million range. Fire 90% or more. Blue check Gunther Eagleman. I don't even fucking care. Ah, yes, the master plan. Fire 21 million Americans, deport 5 million low-wage workers, and slap 60% on imports, all in one brilliant stroke. I say 60% because that's how much they want the tariffs to be against Chinese goods. And everything in this country comes from fucking China. 20%. And Mr. Krasenstein has this inaccurately or inaccurate. 20% is everything else. All right? Everything else that is not Chinese. 60% is what they want on Chinese goods. And knowing these people, that probably also includes Taiwanese goods. 20% is just a generality. Like if you get your shit from Bangladesh, it'll be 20%. If it's China, he wants 60. Truly a surefire recipe for economic prosperity. But hey, why bother understanding basic economics when you can just call education indoctrination and skip the thinking part altogether? Sharp C note. Aww. Aw, little kitty singing a song. How adorable. I needed that. Elmo is cyberbullying government employees. Men in Bulgaria starter pack. Okay. Ah. Ugh. Look, if you don't follow me on Twitter, you should. Because I ain't gonna do anything for Reddit. I'm gonna Photoshop something really interesting and post it myself on Twitter. And I guarantee, hopefully, oh God, I better check. Hopefully nobody thought up my idea. Just looking at them, I know the perfect Photoshop. Be afraid, be very afraid. Ah, ha, ha, ha. Oh my God. It's Bat Boy. That's a good one. Bald Raver Brothers. Florida Senator Rick Scott. Oh my God. Oh my God. He should have put some sunglasses on him. Some glitter green tooth paint and maybe one of those little pipe cleaner wigs. That would have been better. Same guy, different levels of PCP. Okay, let's see this guy. Wee. Ooh wee. Oh my God. Oh my God. Ah, looks like the creature from Leviathan. If you've never seen that film, watch it. It is a classic. It's still scary to this day. What is that from? I'm guessing The Substance. Yeah, I heard that movie was really good. I gotta see it. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good shop. Yeah. They want to kick everybody out of the country. I honestly think most of these people do belong in a facility. They belong in a hospital. Ah! Ew. Now this sucks. I would have taken out Ripley's head and replaced it with his. Because, he's bald and everything. Nope. Nobody took my idea. And I ain't going to tell you what it is. You're going to have to come to Twitter to see it. It's going to seem so obvious once I do it, though. I can't believe nobody did a Photoshop of it already. It's so obvious to me. The election is over. Now let's talk and organize the reparations plan for African American descendants of slavery. Let's see if BET, Roland Martin, Charlemagne, Plies, Luke, or DL Hughley will raise awareness, blah, blah, blah. Sister, you have the wrong ass government for that. We're closer to going back to slavery than reparations. Yeah. What fucking planet is she from? Aww. Racist old boomer gets instant karma. Let me start that again. Oh my god. Oh, I think I saw this one before. It's that Jenna Marbles. My god. How many years ago have I watched a Jenna Marbles video? 2013 speech, Dr. Oz says uninsured Americans don't have the right to health care. Well, I have seen him on the Dr. Oz show, and I've seen what he suggests to people for better health. He's as much of a doctor as Dr. Phil. Actually, Dr. Phil probably would have been a better choice, because loads of people actually love and respect Dr. Phil. So he'd be too busy trying to appeal to everybody.
Fill your mother's name in right here. They're called the Garbage Pail Kids, a parody on Cabbage Patch Dolls, but parents aren't laughing. He's sitting there with a button in his lap ready to, or he does, blow his head off, and when it comes off, it looks like the return of mom. It looks communistic. It looks like maybe someone is trying to break the American family. The bubble gum and cards are made by a Pennsylvania company, but they're being sold locally at 7-Eleven stores and Toys R Us.
I wanted Garbage Pail Kid cards so bad when I was a kid. And some kids had them, and they were so interesting to look at. We never went to a 7-Eleven where I could just get them, but I loved them so much.
Parents are banding together to get the product off store shelves. The protest is being organized by parents of children who attend the Daybridge Learning Center in Duncanville. Parents who put their concerns on paper in the form of a petition.
Yeah. And they had lots of luck with that, huh? Oh, Chinese food girl wants to be Walmart Britney Spears. Okay. Vivek Ramalama Ding Dong says the federal government shouldn't be in the business of giving away free money to non-governmental organizations. That should be obvious. Oh, really? Okay, but the federal government gave money to Tesla, and it is a non-governmental agency. A lot more than they ever gave to Planned Parenthood. Families need access to Planned Parenthood and its services way more than they need access to Priuses with iPads in the front. Vivek, if you and Elon are homo, just say so. Yup, they want the handouts, but only for themselves. What the fuck have I been saying all this time? The water isn't real? Oh my god. GOP senator introduces bill to legally erase transgender people. Point, what is it? 0.05% of the population? Right there. Percentage of transgender in the US between 0.5 and 1.6%. 0.5 to 1.6%. This is what they got their panties in a bunch over. And yeah, I'm going to say that because I'm sure some of those nasty old white GOP maggots wear women's panties under their pants. Okay, you suck. Always a problem with Reddit. Now it's like repeating like 5 posts at a time on the front page after I go through them. I don't know. The real question is, would anybody else actually want to be in the same restroom as MTG or Nancy Mace? I would, but not for the reason you're thinking of. Typical Trump voter. I found out somebody said like this guy is the same as, I think it might be that Gunther guy. I don't know. I don't care. I'll have subpoena power. Neanderthal Green threatens Dr. Fauci with Doge hearing. And what are you going to do about it? What is Doge going to do about it? Doge is supposed to be a new department on government efficiency. So, what does a medical scientist who has been working with White House staff since the time of Ronald Reagan, I believe, have anything to do with you doing your jobs properly? Wouldn't such a hearing mean you're not doing your jobs properly? Bleach blonde, bad built, butch body. It's not a real government agency. Let her fucking try. What the fuck does a subpoena of Fauci have to do with government efficiency? You know what? Let them waste their time. I hope he tells them to fuck off. And he just doesn't show up. Don't forget, people, she's the criminal who asked for the pardon, not Dr. Fauci. Yeah, we're going to have to keep repeating that. Ew. MSNBC is going up for sale. Should I buy it? Megyn Kelly. Oh my God, do it. It literally says, not for Elon Musk. I would make that a point if I owned a news network too. This guy has done enough damage just with a social media site. No, he ain't gonna get the monopoly that he dreams of having over my country, your country's information, over my country's press. That shit ain't gonna happen. And I'm saying this as somebody who went for journalism, Minored in journalism, wanted to be a journalist for a time. This guy is too stupid. He's too stupid to own Twitter, let alone MSNBC. Nah. And they better not do shit with NPR or PBS. I know it's big and serious and, you know, educational and all that kind of shit, and that scares them. But I think anyone who's anyone in journalism or who cares about information, who cares about communications in this country, better damn well stand up and make sure that shit does not happen. That's another thing people don't often think about with the Trump victory is a monopoly on your news, a monopoly on your information, a monopoly on your press, privatizing press, let alone giving it to Elon Musk, who already has too much power when it comes to the information you get in this country. No, that's something everybody needs to stand up against and make sure never happens. Breaking: Trump enlists Chris Hansen to head up search for new attorney general candidate. Good one. I love conspiratorial templates. More than half of American voters voted for Trump. He won the popular vote by a decisive margin. Cutting someone off just because they voted for the other candidate is closed-minded and just plain mean. It's only just a tad bit more mature of them than, say, breaking into Capitol buildings and smearing their feces like a bunch of fucking monkeys. Just a tad. You rigged the election. Shut the fuck up. Yeah, that's the one thing that kind of cinched it for me. She was killing it in the time that she had, and people are saying, "Oh, she just didn't have enough time." She did an excellent job. She ran an excellent campaign with the time that she had, especially considering everybody hated Biden so much. She did a stellar job. Her crowd sizes, standing room only. Trump had half an area of empty seats. Her engagements were standing room only. Her people got to work. She fucking killed it with her campaign. And not only does Trump get over 3 million votes less than he did in the last election, but all these people going out to vote, 10 million Democratic voters just decided to sit this one out. He got 3 million plus less votes than last time, but she's short about 7 million. All those people just disappeared, decided to stay at home. And there were more people who sat out the vote than in a long time. Yeah, it didn't really make sense, jibe well with me either. But, oh well, you got Hitler and a bunch of stormtroopers that are going to be running your government in a couple of short months. I know people that are stocking food and water, people getting home security systems. I have a neighbor who's got like 50 weapons magnetized to the back of his door because he's Asian. And yes, don't think I haven't noticed the like 200 whatever percent jump in people saying, "Can I change my vote?" Yeah, I'm not the one asking if I can change my vote. Nobody that voted for Kamala is the one asking if they can change their vote. But, alrighty.